For the fight fans joining us and the millions watching around the world.
Yes, ladies and gents, welcome back to In the Red Corner with me, Ross. I hope everyone's had a good day. Joining me tonight, I've got Tom Kong Scott, who's just coming off a victory at the BKFC in Leeds. Finished him tough Polish opponent, Damian Gorski. Managed to finish him by a TKO in the fourth round. It was a hell of a fight, and Tom's boxing was on point. Thank you very much to all the new subscribers for joining in the Red Corner. Really appreciate it. Anyone else that wants to subscribe, feel free. You're always more than welcome. There's plenty of room for everyone in the Red Corner. So here he is, the man of the moment. Tom, how are you doing?
I'm good, Ross. How are you?
I'm good, thank you very much, mate. How are things for you? How are you feeling? Are you feeling all right?
Yeah, I've finally come down from it. The tiredness is all kicked in now. I normally get like that. It's either I get really tired or I start feeling a bit ill after everything.
Yeah, we were just talking off camera. It's tough after a fight. You've got the whole build up to it, everything focused on that camp, the fight itself, and then it's almost a bit of nothingness, isn't it? Like kind of a bit lost after a fight.
Yeah, that's it. Really getting back to reality, working properly, and obviously living your normal life again. It's a bit weird.
I mean, you're looking all right. There's no real damage to you. I know your hands were swollen, but they're all right now.
Yeah, they've gone down a bit. They're still a bit bruised, but they've gone down massively. They don't look like balloons anymore.
Yeah,
they kind of look like them kids' Hulk hands.
You were doing a bit of hand conditioning before this fight as well, though, weren't you?
Yeah, I've never really done it before. But yeah, just like hitting hard things. Obviously, not hitting it too hard because you knacker yourself up. But I spoke to people about it, and obviously, I've read up about it. When you put little tiny fractures in your hand, that's what it does, and it makes them harder.
Yeah, it calcifies and makes them stronger, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is that something you'll continue to do then?
I think so. I think I need to, really, because they've had so much of a batter in these hands over the years. They're knackered.
Yeah.
We've only got about 2 knuckles left.
It was good to see you back on the show. You fought in Newcastle. You had, an unfortunate few events happened before that fight in Newcastle, but for this one, you looked, a different man. You were 100% going into it. You looked fully focused, and you looked like you knew what you were doing.
Yeah, it was, like I say, much better camp. My head was in a much better place, and obviously going into it, when you've got in the right mind frame, you put everything into your camp, no distractions, and then obviously into the fight. That's all you're thinking about. Everything that I trained to do, I put in the ring, and it worked.
Yeah, it did. What was your plan for the fight then?
Just what I did. Like, I was going to box him. I knew that he was going to come forward, try and draw me into a fight. I mean, if I was in the same mind frame as last time, I would have stood there and just had a row with him, and it could have gone either way then, do you know what I mean? So I was trying to eliminate any way that he could have beat me. So I thought, stay on the outside, break him down, and then obviously towards the end, I was hoping to get the finish.
Yeah, and you certainly did in style as well. Like I said, the intro there, your boxing was on point. You put on a bit of a masterclass, really. Not taking anything away from Gorski, because he was one tough man. He had a head like made of concrete or something. Yeah. You worked your jab really well. Your feints, you dropped him. There was 4 counts of of dropping him, wasn't there? I think the first one was a push, you've said.
Yeah, I wouldn't class the first one as a knockdown. I caught him as he was coming in, but it wasn't a big enough punch to do anything with him. And I think he tried grabbing hold of me. I pushed him and he's gone over. So that was definitely a push. I tried actually saying to the ref, there's a push that.
Yeah. After the second knockdown, after the end of the first round, he caught you with a big shot. That was probably the best shot that he had most of the fight, I think.
That was the one when I realised I can't let him get too close, because I don't know if you noticed, it can't, like, my legs bucking out. I mean, I wasn't badly hurt, but I mean, he could. I went to my boots.
Yeah, you felt it. Huh?
Yeah.
I mean, he was mainly looking for a big left hook and a big overhand right. He was swinging kind of wild, whereas you were tight, compact, hands high. Like I say, you just put on a great performance.
Yeah, in the training camp, I mean, to be fair, I was expecting more of the overhand rights, because obviously if he's watched me, he knows about my jab. So I thought he would be timing my jab to try and come over. So I wasn't really expecting the left hooks, which, again, like, I've still got things to work on. So I'll be keeping this a bit higher next time.
Yeah. Work in progress, mate. We're all work in progress, aren't we, to be fair?
Yeah.
Like I say, his durability and his toughness was something that you were hitting him with some bombs, and he was just, on his hands and knees, took his gum shield out, didn't think he was going to get back up. And then
I couldn't believe it. Like I say, that third one that he went down, I thought, that's got to be it. I mean, you can hear it on the video, like the noise it made when I connected, and I thought, yeah, it's got to be it. And he was on his hands and knees, and he turned around, looked at me, and he just put his gum shield back and got back up. I thought, wow, he's a tough man.
Yeah, absolute machine. Absolute machine. After that knockdown, though, he kind of stopped moving as much, and he kind of stood a bit more in front of you, where you could work your feints a bit more, work the body and the head. Like I say, your jab and your straight 1-2s were, what finished him off, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've spoke to him today, actually, on Instagram, and he actually said I basically drew the fact, his gas tank pretty much went because I was making him miss a lot.
Yeah.
And so obviously when you're punching fresh air, it takes so much out of you. And he just said, like, obviously that's when his feet stopped and his head movement stopped. So
yeah, the Polish support, they were fantastic. They had the flags out and everything. You had a lot of support there as well. On your walkout, all you could hear was Seasiders. Blackpool lad, of course, for yourself. Yeah. Your support was incredible.
Yeah, they like making a noise. It's good. I love it. So obviously, since I was boxing, I've always had a decent following, and it's good to see that they've come over and still support me doing this. I mean, a lot of people have said, I think you're stupid doing it, but they still support me. I don't think they think I'm that stupid now doing it.
Got David round there saying awesome performance from Kong.
Nice one, David. It was good to see him as well there.
It's always good to see David. He's an absolute howl of a man.
Too, isn't he?
Yeah, brilliant. Of course, you are on David's list.
I am indeed. He made sure he pulled that out when we was in the hotel, the bar bit, where I was having some food, and he whipped it out to remind me.
Yeah. So how do you feel about a potential matchup with David?
We've spoke about it before. I think it'd make a brilliant fight. I mean, it's two different styles, in it. I mean, he's a come forward, rough, hard man, isn't he?
Yeah.
A punch with both hands. I reckon, obviously, my boxing's, I'd say, is better than his. So it'd make a fantastic fight.
It would. I mean, obviously, David's plan is for Danny Christie. That's who he wants next. If he doesn't get Christie, he's looking at maybe going to America. But a potential matchup with you, I think it'd be as big as Danny Christie as well. To be honest, it'd be an absolutely unbelievable fight.
Yeah, I think obviously after David's last performance, I mean, what a knockout. I think after my last performance, I think it'd interest a lot of people, without a doubt.
I think so, definitely. Like I say, I think it could be, an absolute war between you and two clashes of styles. And as we know, styles make fights.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a crowd pleaser.
Yeah, I know David will try and drag me into a fight, and I'm quite easily tempted into fighting as well.
So this victory, what does it mean for you?
Well, it's good for my head, obviously.
Yeah.
After being beat in Newcastle, it was a weird one because obviously I knew it wasn't my best, but obviously no one wants to get beat anyway. But so it's just having a win back under my belt. It feels amazing. I can only go up now, I think.
Yeah. And have you got your mind on anyone or your eye on anyone that you'd like next?
I don't really. I just see who they put in front of me. So,
yeah.
And I don't really plan until they stood there.
I'm not sure if she's Mrs. Scott or not, but your missus is having a fight. She's got a boxing bout in June. You're training her for that?
Yeah, that's going to be fun. This is when we do have fallouts, because obviously she doesn't like taking orders off me. It's normally the other way around. But yeah, she's pretty decent. She's all right, but she's not boxed for a couple of years now. I think obviously she's got the bit between her teeth and fancies another bash at it.
Yeah.
But when you see her, you'll think, why is she fighting? Because she's a good-looking girl.
Yeah.
but it's more nerve. I get more nervous for her than I do myself.
Yeah, I bet it must be hard watching your missus go into a fight. I mean, you do a lot of coaching as well, don't you? With the kids and stuff like that. You've got a couple of young lads that I think you mentioned on the Fuse. They were your sparring partners.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do as much as the coaching side of it now. I mean, I'm still in the gym with them all. We don't do the amateurs anymore. That was good. Loved all that. Some characters we had with the amateurs. They pretty much won everything you could win. We went from a little gym that no one knew into a gym that everyone in the country and even in Europe knew.
Brilliant.
So that's good. But now, like I say, we've got some of the younger ones that have come through, turning over pro now.
Fantastic.
And now
what's that gym called?
Sharp Style in boxing.
Sharp Style. Excellent.
Yeah, if you go on Google, you'll see everything.
Yeah.
You might see some daft pictures of me.
Here's Mr. Roundback. Thank you, Tom. Yes, be an amazing fight. If Danny wasn't going to happen, let's do it.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds great, yeah. When do you think you'll be out next then?
So obviously she's fighting in June, so I'm giving her all my time. So obviously I've had a lot of time away from her. Well, not away, but I've not been giving him my full focus. So I'm going to concentrate on her, spend a bit of time with my family, and then I don't think it'll be the next one in Newcastle, but hopefully the one after, wherever that may be.
Yeah. Will you be going to the Newcastle show anyways, or?
I'll be going up there to show my support, definitely. I mean, I love the shows as a fan.
Yeah.
Just as a fighter, so yeah, I'll be up there.
Yeah, I mean, the venue at Leeds was cold in Ice Planet, but it was a great venue, wasn't it?
It was brilliant, yeah. The way it was all set out, I mean, the great viewing, even the cheaper tickets, the looking down on the ring, and that is a brilliant setup.
Yeah. Did you get to see many of the fights yourself then?
I got to see a couple, but I was in the changing room, just bouncing around, just couldn't wait to go. But there's a couple of fights that I saw. Saw the first one. Good finish.
Aaron Blakey.
Aaron Blakey, yeah. That was a good finish. I spoke to him on Instagram as well. I think he's up for coming down to my gym, doing a little bit with each other.
Yeah, really nice lad, Aaron. I've got a lot of time for him. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's sound. Who else do I see now? Lee Brown's. That was brilliant.
Lee Brown. What a monster he is, like. Relentless, isn't he?
Yeah, well, both of them. I mean, some of them shots again, like the Polish lad took. Wow,
Yeah.
he's there come straight back.
That's what the BKFC is about, isn't it? It's standing there, letting that dog out in you that you've got inside. There's a couple of fights that finished a bit early in the prelims, I thought, but people may be giving up. And I don't mean to disrespect anyone, but when you watch Lee Brown's fight, there was just no give up in them two fighters.
Well, that's what it's about. And again, it's different to boxing. I mean, it's like you say earlier on, it's primal. It's kill or be killed. I said it to Lou Hughes. You put everything on the line to be the best. So,
yeah, and of course the main event with Holmes Christie, that was unbelievable, wasn't it?
Belting fight, unbelievable fight. I can't believe Danny's eyebrow. Honestly, you could climb inside it.
Yeah, it was hanging off, wasn't it?
But yeah, what a fight! I mean, Holmes showed his boxing ability with his movement and stuff, but just Danny's pressure is coming forward, it just saps the life out of you. And especially when hitting him and they're still just coming at you, throwing bombs. It's enough to destroy anyone's mind.
Yeah, definitely. We've got Mr. Round saying, August, September, I'm good for. See you in Newcastle. Me and the wife will be there. Respect Tom. # I've got a list.
Love that list.
It could be on the cards, you two, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we've already spoke about it before. Like, when was it we were talking about doing it? After Brazier, we were saying, let's try and get it on straight after. But then, obviously, he got his big win there. Puts him right up the ranking list, doesn't it? So I need to catch up a little bit.
I mean, it's all up in the air with what's going to happen with Danny, whether he's going to go to America, whether he's going to have the rematch with Holmesy. Yeah, Time will tell, I suppose. But
I think either would be good. I'd like to see another rematch. I think that would be another good fight again. See if there's any different changes. I mean, I don't know what else could be changed from that fight.
Yeah. I mean, with Danny's fight style as well, he does kind of accumulate damage in a fight, unfortunately. But I think stopping him with cuts is probably going to be the best way. I think that was one of Holmes' plans to kind of stop him. But you're doing Tough Mudder with Danny in July, is it?
Yeah, that should be fun. I've always wanted to do one, and obviously I've put it together, and I messaged Danny saying, "Do you fancy doing it? I'll be doing it for a charity in mind for mental health."
Excellent.
Obviously, we've both had our issues in the past with mental health and stuff, so I think it'd be perfect to raise money for it.
Yeah, it's great charity, and fair play for you to setting that up as well.
Thank you.
I mean, are you kind of over your struggles? Are you still something you're working through, or?
I mean, every day everyone has struggles, don't they? But it's just how you manage them. I mean, I'm miles better. A lot of my issues obviously came from my mum being ill. It was hard for me to cope with because obviously she brought me up on her own, me and my brother. So it was just hard to deal with. All I could think about is not having her, and it was doing me in.
Yeah.
I was doing the wrong things to block it out. I was going out drinking, just trying to put it behind me head, but just made it 10 times worse.
Yeah. It's an awful thing to kind of have to go through, and like you say, we've all got our struggles every day. But I'm pleased to see you kind of out the other side of it and doing well, mate.
Yeah, just being in the gym helps massively. Being around my family all helps. Yeah,
of course. I think anyone that's kind of depressed and things like that, exercise or going to the gym or doing some kind of sport, it's as good as any. Instead of dishing out the antidepressants and stuff like that, it's as good as that, really, isn't it?
Yeah, get yourself an ice bath. That does, so, honestly. But as horrible as they are, honestly, you jump in it and the feeling you feel after it sets you up for the day. It's strange.
Yeah, that shock, that rush.
Yeah, it's
all the blood rushing to the internal organs.
Yeah, it is horrible, but I remember sending a video to David Round of the noise I was making when I first ever done one. As you can imagine, he was calling me all sorts.
That sounds about right for David, to be fair.
Well, he's used to it in Wales, isn't he, being told?
Yeah, he will be, yeah. I mean, I think there is a BKFC in Wales at some point through the year. It's not been confirmed, but it's a venue that they're looking at. So that could be August, September time, possibly.
That'll be a good show, because obviously there's a couple of decent fighters from Wales now, isn't there? So,
there is, yeah. James Lilly, obviously number one contender, awaiting his title shot. Obviously David Round as well. Just he's just a cracking lad. Got all the time in the world for David. Have you got any teammates you want to shout out or anything like that, or before we wrap this up, mate?
I just want to thank everyone for obviously coming to support me. Thank you to all my coaches who helped out. Thank you to my girlfriend for putting up with me in my stressful situations that I put through. Honestly, I'm horrible to be around sometimes. I just don't speak to her. I'm in a mood, especially when I can't eat my steaks.
Yeah, love a steak.
Oh.
You've just done a lot of fish before this fight, were you?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I love fish, but it gets a bit much, doesn't it?
Yeah,
walking around smelling a mackerel.
Listen, Tom, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much. You're more than welcome anytime. And I wish you the very best of luck. I look forward to seeing you out there again.
Brilliant. Thanks, Ross.
No worries. Thank you. Speak to you soon, mate. Cheers. There he is, Tom Kong Scott. Unbelievable performance at the BKFC 40. Looking forward to seeing him out again. And I'll try and get some links for his Mind, the Mind charity that he's doing the Tough Mudder for. And if you can, go and donate. It's a great charity and a great cause. We've got in the comments, we've got Lindsay. Thanks very much, Lindsay, for jumping in. You got a couple of questions there, didn't you? Yeah, the PA went off for the main event, Lindsay. But it just gave it a bit more of an intense feeling when it happened. It happened just before before the Holmes Christie fight. So there was no ring announcer or anything. I don't think a lot of people realised that Danny had walked down the ring. They just kind of looked up and seen he was there. But yeah, it added into the intensity. As for his American visa, I don't know. He's mentioned it before that he's got a lot of convictions. I'm sure he'll try. Although he's not that asked about going to America. I don't want to speak to him. I speak for him. I can't. But would Hunt come to the UK? I can't see it, to be honest. I don't know what's happening. It might not even be Hunt that Danny faces. I believe Hunt's maybe going to go over to... he's going to go and fight Belcher for the heavyweight, so that'll be him be a 4-time champion in the BKFC at different weights. So time will tell. It could be if Hunt has to give up the belt. Who knows who it could be? Could be David Round if Hunt has to give up the belt. David would get his fight with Danny, and it could be for a world. This is me just talking shit, by the way. It could happen. You never know. David Round. I was going to the ring after the fight. Microphone was working. Oh, he was going to go into the ring after the fight if the microphone was working. Yeah, I remember you telling me that, David. It would have been great. It might have sullied Danny's moment a little bit, but it set it up, wouldn't it? It would have set it up. But thank you very much, everyone, for joining. To all the new and old subscribers again, if you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. It goes a long way to help me create good content for you. And hope everyone has a good night. Thanks very much. Speak to you soon.
For the fight fans joining us and the millions watching around the world.
Korner.
Korner podcast would like to thank our show sponsors, the Gentry Barbers and Tattoo Lounge, Funky Gums Mouthguards, Vandella Phone Repairs, and The One Who Follows. There's David Round with just one more comment. He asked Paul asked Feldman and said I could fight. That's if Danny wanted the fight. We don't know. Time will tell. Danny's not really thinking about it at the moment. He's going to go on holiday and make his decisions there. But we'll see what happens, David. Who knows? I'm back on. When am I back on? At the moment, I'm back on Sunday, unless someone wants to come on. I've got Andrew Bakewell, the BKFC UK boss, on Sunday night. And I might also have James Lilly, the number one contender for the belt, who wears his title shot. All right, thanks very much, everyone. Speak to you later.